to do.
Came here, tell you I love you, tell you that you want. I said all that shit and I just feel stupid. I feel like.
I can't hear you, baby. I'm sorry.
I don't know what else to do.
I thought that we had some sort of game plan.
I told you what I needed. You said we should make a list, but yet you don't. Seeing the counselor's not gonna it's not gonna do it. It's not alone. I know. We gotta change how we do things. And I want to trust you, and I feel like all the trust is gone. All the fucking trust is gone in the relationship because you keep splitting. We fight together, but you're the only one who splits, and I want that back. But you.
If there's no trust, there's nothing to be
then
talking
maybe
about.
then maybe there's nothing to talk about. But I did come over here with enough love in my heart and sincerity.
Thank you.
To say to you that all the things I said, which now I feel like that I meant them. You know, I fucking meant them. Even though you fucking split, didn't come home. You know, I still did that. I've showed myself. I've proven myself. I've fought for you. I've showed up.
I'm not gonna be in a physical fucking altercation with you.
Then don't.
You fucking hit me last night. You fucking.
What about all the other times you split? Come on, you cannot act like that. It's about that. It's not.
Well, on a plane, I can't split.
No, and you hit back. So don't act like you don't fucking participate.
I pushed you.
I'm not going to get into the details of that fight. You and I both know that you split when there is no physical violence involved. And that you do it like at the very beginning of fights these days. And if you split and you go into a different room and you don't actually leave that house, it does nothing but perpetuate the fight. And you don't actually do it respectfully. You don't do it in a way that actually means we won't fight. It always makes more fights. It always makes them longer. It never, ever makes you calmer. You never come out going, I want to talk, or I'm okay, or it's going to be okay. And I am I'm sick and tired 100% of being the only one that goes and fights for it. You know what that does? It demoralizes the half of this relationship that is me. It demeans me, demoralizes me.
Really?
Yes, really. Really, when you split on me, how do you feel when I leave you?
When I split,
I've left
when I go into the other room, you're saying?
you leave you get another room, you get a flight, things like that. And you asked me not to in Australia, and ever since then,
how many?
I don't know. I have to count them up.
No, because I haven't left you in the house maybe twice. Last night and another time.
No, you've done it before. I've come here before. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, you've come here before. Last time and another time, and then last night.
You've done this several times, and getting me a room. I mean, getting another room at a hotel is just the same thing.
When did I get another room at a hotel?
You text Steven or Nathan in Toronto to get you another room. It's chronic. It happens all the time. And if you do it to go into another room, you do it and you get dressed.
You were fucking screaming at me.
I'm not going to validate my actions last night. I feel very bad.
No, I'm talking in Toronto.
I did not start screaming until you had fucking said all this shit. You poke an animal enough, it is eventually, doesn't matter how friendly it is or how cool.
True. Well, it's the same for me. It's the same for me.
And you kicked and kicked and kicked so bad. I have not done this to you. I have not said these things to you. I have not started the fight by saying I'm going to get another room. And I'm not going to sit here and fight about fucking Toronto anymore. Guess what? I let it go. I'm not fucking talking about Toronto.
Send me the tapes.
I can whisper it. I can write it. Guess what? I'm not saying another fucking word about Toronto. I'm so sick and tired of fucking fighting about old fights. This is not about a fight. This is broad. This is a broad thing. And if I'm telling you every single time you get dressed and you fucking split the top of a fight, you never fucking try and work it out, you never fight for me, you never come to me, you never self-calm, you never self-soothe, you're never the one to throw the olive branch. I'm sick and tired of it. It needs to fucking change. And you can go, I can't meet those demands, I can't do it, or you can fucking promise me so I have a modicum of safety, I feel a modicum of respect, a little tiny shit sliver of fucking like, you are in this whether it is good or bad, whether it is good or bad, down and up, lows and highs, tough and easy. Not just when it's easy. I feel like you're a fucking vacation husband. You are so there when it's good. You're so there when it's easy. The second it gets hard, you question it. Last night, I'm just as guilty. I give you that. But I have been primed and conditioned. At this point, I thought I'd never get over Toronto. It hurt so bad. I got fucked over so bad, and I did not do anything like that. I didn't stoop to that level at all.
You got the tapes. Let me hear them.
Absolutely. I wish it had caught everything too.
Why don't you send me the fucking recordings?
I will.
Just text them to me.
I don't know how else to say I will to you. Hasn't really been a kind of safe environment now, has it? So if I'm looking to stoke a fire, yeah, okay. I haven't because we have not been well. We have not been good. When I fucking move out, if I move out, then you'll have them and you can fucking relish them. You won't fucking like it, what you hear. Won't make you happy. But you'll hear what I'm telling you. We haven't really been good. It hasn't really been a safe environment now, has it? You act like you're fucking on something when I haven't, sent you this. Like, well, send them to me. Get this. It hasn't been good. It's been a little tough.
Well, it wasn't before Rio.
Was it tough?
I mean, it was only in the sense that you tried to keep me,
It's been really tough.
And why did you come to Rio?
All I've been trying to do is be with you, spend time with you. You said you needed that. You said that it made a difference when I wasn't working. You wanted me to travel with you.
That was the time you were looking for apartments?
That was after Toronto.
Yeah, that's when we came back here.
I know where we were.
Toronto, Boston, here, rehearsals.
I know where we were. We've been on the road basically since Australia, and I have been at your side. And I have not been filming a movie.
Well, we were on our honeymoon. I hope you were at my side.
I'm not talking about just a honeymoon. Now am I? I'm talking about many months. And was it all the honeymoon? No. I have been at your side throughout it all. You said, why did you come to Rio? And I answered you. I would love for it to be better. I have no fucking consistency, no safety, no security. The relationship is something, is something you don't fight for, you don't stand up for, you always run from when it's tough. I'm telling you, I need We didn't say vows. You didn't make them exactly in the same, in that way, but now is the fucking time. I need to know if you're gonna be there. I want promises. I told you that at the beginning of this conversation. I need promises that you're gonna fucking be there. I need promises that this is important to you. Not when it's easy, when it's hard too. This is something you'll fight for. That this is something that's sacred, that neither of us throw out every fight. I can't be the only one to hold the promises. I was in Toronto and it fucked me over. I can't be the only one. You can't be the only one. If I split on you, all those times that I thought about doing it, we would not be here. And I stayed, and it's tougher. You know, that's stronger. I'm stronger. It is easy to run. It is easy to run away from problems. It is easy to take that out and say, well, that's the easiest. That's the best, safest. That's the safest way out. I'm not saying we should get in physical altercations. I never want to be in that. Never. But every time you don't like what I say and you fucking run away, will never work out anything. You can't run away every fight. You can't. It's easy. It's not brave. It's not strong. It's harder to say to somebody, I want to work this out. I want to face what I have. I want to face what you have. I want to work it out with you. You're not working it out. You're running away, and then you make me be the bigger person every single time and come to you and knock on the door and come to this house and say, hey, we're married. It's supposed to be sacred. Calm down.
I made you.
Yes, by default. If you're never the one to do it, one of us is, and I'm the one to do it every time. It means I'm the bigger person every time. It means I have to be the strong one. It means every time I have to fight for our relationship, and you get to be you get to be lazy. You get to be cowardly. I don't know what it is.
What are you here for? What do you need me for?
Once again, I am fighting for the relationship.
With a guy that you don't fucking trust or like? Why?
I did not say I didn't like you. I love you. You're my favorite person in the world.
I don't see how
I remember what I said at the beginning. I'm sorry you feel like you can't imagine it. But I said this to you at the beginning of this conversation. I said, you're my favorite person in the whole world. If you weren't the most magnetic, shiny, beautiful, interesting, dynamic person I had ever met in my life, it would be so easy to walk away from this bratty thing that you do.
Untrustworthy.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
I said I can't trust. That's not meaning you're untrustworthy. It means that we've created a situation. And I'm telling you what you do to create it too. We've created a situation in which trust can't grow. It's like, it's trampled every single time, and we need a marriage. That's why I sat down. Do you not remember me sitting down at the very beginning of this conversation and saying just that to you? Saying, I know you got married for security and for safety. So did I. We did not get married because it was something that we're doing, because it was something we could walk away. We wanted a foundation. No?
Yes, I wanted to make you my wife.
Yes, but you could just have me as your girlfriend if you didn't want the foundation. And you told me, and maybe you go back on it now. Fine, okay, cool. Lie about that. I don't know. You told me you wanted a foundation. You told me you wanted the security. You wanted the safety. You liked the foundation. At the beginning, you said, I really like having that. It feels safe. So don't argue with me when I say it now.
I'm not arguing with you.
Oh, yeah, but you had to pick it apart.
By saying because I loved you and you're my wife? I wanted you to be my wife? That's picking it apart?
No.
Then how did I pick it apart?
Forget it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to fight about a fight. I want to fight about the semantics.
How come when I come up with a point, you can't answer it? You don't want, or suddenly you don't want to answer it?
What am I not answering? Because I don't want to fight about this new thing? No, I don't want to. I said you wanted the safety and security, and you stopped me, you interrupted me, and then you said, what? Because because I wanted to have you as my...
I didn't interrupt you. You asked me, right? You said, right?
I meant you interjected. I meant you said. You said. How about that? See, now, is this better? I answered you. I addressed what you're saying. Now, can we please not fight about that?
And I said, because I love you.
You said loved.
We're talking about a fucking event that's past tense. If I used loved, my apologies. It doesn't mean I don't love you now.
My whole point that you had, I don't know, an issue with is that you love me. Yes, you married me, though, because you wanted some safety, some security, some stability, a foundation. Now, if you take issue with that, okay. Take issue with it, but if you agree, then you agree. That's who you were when you married me.
Yes, but the only thing that's missing is with you. I
What do you
wanted
mean?
those things with you.
Yes.
And that's what I
Yes.
was trying to say.
Me
Because
too.
I love you, and I wanted you to marry you for that, for our love, for the security, for the foundation, for, yes, of course. But you left for you.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Me too. I mean, with you, of course.
Or with you, or whatever.
I mean that, of course. Of course I do. Of course I want that with you. It's why I'm married to you. But I need the safety, I need the security, I need the boundaries, and I think you, could you not agree?
I need the same things.
So
But when you start flipping out, and I can't get a word in, and it's you know, manic and angry. Well, what the fuck, Amber?
I get angry. I'm human. This is the kind of situation where one gets angry.
Okay, but you can't provoke anger in me then. If I just
You can't control that.
But
If
just
I'm
try.
angry,
Just try. Let's both try. If there's anger, if there's something fucking really fucking poking us in the ass, let's try. Try not to fucking fight. Try to address it without jumping down each other's throats, because all that's going to do is build a mountain of fucking resentment, some species of fucking hatred within the love, and totally fucking mistrust, because you say you don't trust me. I get it, okay. I'm flake, I'm a this, I'm a that.
I didn't
All
say
right.
as a person. I was speaking specifically about this. I don't trust the marriage. I don't trust you. I don't feel safe with it because you always fucking bail on it.
Well, then
That's sick.
I don't know, you know.
I want the trust back. I don't. You can deflect all you want. Say it's my fault. Say how dare I get angry at you ever. Whatever. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, as much as you don't like that shit in your marriage, I don't like the guff that you put on me in our marriage, and if it causes distrust in me, it causes distrust in me.
I don't know.
I don't, and I don't
help
know.
you. I don't know what.
And
the
sometimes
thing
I
is.
don't. I don't want to fucking be there and go through the shit. I don't, man. I don't.
I know.
And I don't want to, because I don't want to fucking fight.
But it doesn't have to be one. It's not like I'm saying, hey, choose fight.
You just said I get mad, I'm gonna scream.
No, I didn't say that's always the case. I said, yeah, I'm mad. It happens. It happens.
Yes, I know. It happens often.
The things that are wrong are repeating themselves, and they happen often. If you think I'm some fucking tyrant or bully, then don't fucking be with me. But don't sit here and insult me like I'm the fuck up because I have the
But you're the
audacity to
one
get
saying
mad.
that I'm the tyrant and the bully and at the same time the
I have called
guy
you
that
a
runs
bully, yeah.
away and
You run away every single fight.
Okay, so I mean, then what are you
Then I'm not
doing
lying
with me?
about it.
Then what are you doing with me?
I already answered that. We went through this conversation literally 5 minutes ago. I answered this already 5 minutes ago.
You just said to me that I shouldn't be with you.
No, I said if
That's
you.
what I feel.
No, I said if I'm some, harping bully, which is what you make me sound like. Like I'm like constantly on you, making you feel bad. That's what I do. And then you ignore everything. You take me for granted. You're ignoring everything that I do for you. You make me sound terrible. You talk about me in a terrible way. You do not fight for me. And then you want to sit here and make me sound so terrible to be around.
Fight for you?
You
What's
don't.
that mean?
Everything I've already explained.
No.
10 minutes
No,
before.
fight for you. I don't understand. What does
You
that mean?
never ever do the work. Put in the work. If we're arguing about something, you don't ever try to get to the bottom of it, figure out, make the peace. You want to make it easy on you, so you split. You don't fight for me. You don't fight when there's a problem. You don't come to me. You don't make peace with me. You never extend an olive branch. You're never the bigger guy. You're never the one that's like, okay, I'm going to put my own feelings aside for a second and say, this is bigger than us. Let's stop fighting. You never are the one to come and knock on my door. You take me for granted.
It's not true. It's not true. I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
Those are different.
whatever
That's
the
different.
fucking else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door.
No,
based
I'm
on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
No, I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who fucking did that. I didn't.
So that makes sense. That's clear. Yeah.
The only time I ever threw anything at you was when you fucking threw the cans at me in Australia.
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on whether or not you come knocking on the door?
Because that is a fucking irrational and violent fucking maneuver. So a man would want to get out of that area so that he doesn't get so fucking angry that he actually does pop the fucking wife.
How does one inform the other?
Oh, man. Go home and listen to the tape. Please. That's what they're for.
Yes. You listen to the fucking tape.
Oh, I'm gonna.
So will I. I'm not going to sit here and promise you I'll never get mad at you or that you'll never fuck up. I know you want to live in a world where everyone just says yes to you and doesn't question you or criticize you ever.
Don't insult me like that, please.
But that's not the case. That's not why you're with me. I am honest with you. I'm sorry. You don't want to be held accountable. I get it.
I'm not sure you're so honest with me.
Well, that's your...
Watching you live in front of Travis last night was really a spectacle.
That's your problem, and that's your whole thing that you've created.
That's my problem, but my problem is that you don't trust me?
No,
what
I don't trust you in this.
What the fuck is going on in there, man?
I don't trust you in this, and I want the trust back.
You don't trust me in our marriage? Well, what is everything we're talking about? Our marriage.
Tell me, if you want to stop talking...
You're saying you don't trust me personally, or you don't trust me in the marriage? What I don't understand what's so different. Tell me the difference, please.
I think I have in the last few hours now.
No, I think you could probably explain it to me a little better. I'm slow.
You want to keep being an asshole?
Do I want to keep being an asshole?
Stop the attitude.
It's a redundant question.
Stop the attitude.
I should stop the attitude. Okay, sure, no problem.
Stop.
No problem.
So I'm not going to sit here and go over every fight we've had. I'm not going to refight this fight. You have something you're holding on to about Travis. Fucking go fuck. You know, go do it. Go run away together. I don't know what you're fucking holding on to, but you have created that. I have no part of that. I don't know what you're fucking latched onto in your brain, what stray hairs have fucking commingled and tangled in your brain to make you think you've really figured some sort of thing out. But this is not unusual for you. It's like almost every fight, I can pretty much guarantee you find something that you can like manipulate.
Let's ask Travis tonight. If you
yes,
told
why don't we
him,
invite Travis into our fucked up, broken ass, 3 fucking wheeled truck of a marriage? Why don't we crash it straight into the wall? Because no one knows us better than fucking Travis.
you're just afraid that the truth will come out.
What truth?
That you lied.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? Did you? And you wouldn't say a fucking reason. I don't know what you're talking about. It never fucking,
I see the
never
lie.
fucking happened.
I see the lie. You really should run with this. In fact, maybe you and Travis can like go and like, you know, do a tell-all about what a,
Hey,
what, you know, an investigative
stop with
study.
the attitude, right? Stop with the attitude.
Sorry.
You're getting all bunched up.
Sorry. Sorry. I don't. It's so fucking pointless, and you know it, to sit here and fight about fucking whatever you think happened with Trout. That wasn't a conversation.
Listen,
we
I was
fighting.
not high.
I'm not going to.
You lied your ass off.
You were fucking full of shit. What
Lied
lie?
your ass off.
When? What conversation did I have with Travis? Big investigative study you've done. I'm not sitting here fighting with you about the fight that we had last night.
After you fucking got physically violent with me, I texted Travis. I said, "Come up here," because I didn't want anything to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Come and what? Save me?
No, go ahead. Continue. You. Travis to the rescue.
No, that was the last one. You can go. You go. That was the last insult.
Oh yeah. You called me a liar, and yet.
I watched you lie.
You called me a liar.
I watched you lie. I heard it. I was right there.
There's no what. You still haven't told me what lie it is. But yet, every single fucking time. You know you do this every single fucking time.
We'll talk to Travis.
I'm not fucking talking to nobody.
No,
fuck that. You go fucking jerk him off. I don't care. I really could care less. It's you every single time. You latch onto some sort of thing. When I already told you, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. You still haven't even told me what it is. But run with it.
I have told you what it is.
No, you haven't.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened. You
told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the fucking thing. And you in the face. And you said, no, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then I
didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You've been a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
no, when you fucking have a closed fist.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
that's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start physical fights?
You're such a baby! Grow the fuck up,
because you start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable. Every single time. What's your excuse when there's not a physical fight? Then what's the excuse there? You're still being admirable, right? Just by running away. And you can sit here and call me names, but you get called a name, and what do? That's the last insult. You're a baby. You're a hypocrite. You don't do anything that you actually do. You expect from people what you can't give them. If they do something, a taste of it to you, you fucking lose it. But yet you dish it out.
doing with this?
I'm giving you a Xanax in case you need it.
Oh, thank you.
Seems like it's worn off.
Yeah, it probably has.
I love you, and I've told you maybe a million times in this conversation how much I love you. I do love you. And I've fought for this marriage and fought for you. And you don't do the same. Not ever. Not ever. Okay. I got married to you for the sweet foundation. So we could start a foundation. Not so that it could be a transient thing we throw around at each other or run away from. But I haven't even been able to have like a fight with you beyond in any real talking kind of speaking context in so long, because anytime anything goes wrong you split. I feel like it's your first thing. And it's unnecessary. It's not always you're splitting because there's blows or because there's yelling or anything. You split most times when I'm still speaking in this volume and nothing has been thrown or hit or anything. Telling me what I need for this. I want to feel the trust, and I can with you. I know I can. I have felt it with you. But it's been destroyed by constantly being reminded that you take me for granted, or that you don't see this as a permanent thing, for better or for worse. I feel genuinely that you are here in this marriage and committed to this marriage for the better. And really not for the worse. You can't say the same about me. I fight even when I feel terrible. I show up. I pursue. I give you space. I've done everything to really show how committed I am. You know I am. I'm here for God's sake.
And I haven't.
No, not when it's tough. Not when it's hard. Not when it's worse. This is the grandest gesture you've shown me in a long time. Is by sitting in one place and actually facing some of the stuff we need to talk about. This is the biggest gesture you've given me in a very long time. It means a lot, of course, but it should be much more than that. I know there's things that I need to do different. I want to make you happy as a man. I know I can change certain things that are hurting you. But I know I can't blame myself entirely for going straight to the fucking finish line, the first sign of stress yesterday. Because of how it's been lately. Like since Australia. And I've been on the road with you. I haven't been working. I don't know what else I could fucking do.
Since Australia, we've been on our honeymoon and we had a great time, other than the fact that we had a fight in the train, which was physical.
Yeah.
But then we had a fight in San Francisco. But I thought everything else was great. You're saying that you've been pondering this since Australia.
No, the splitting.
Me splitting.
Like the lack of, I even said this in Australia. I said I feel like it was so good for so long. We'd talk about things. Remember we were allowed to have fights then. Remember we allowed ourselves to say, hey, you did this, or you took. Remember we would even have a little argument and it was okay. It was an argument. I don't know what the fuck has changed. I can't figure it out. And I don't mean to criticize anything that you do, but it's so chronic with you, the the changes in the personality. It's like sometimes you get these clear months and you're this different person and it's wonderful, you're this, and then sometimes I'm like struggling to stay connected with you, struggling to have 5 minutes with you, struggling to connect with you, struggling to have my friendship with you, and I can't fight with you. You know, it's like, but they're so chronic that I have to go, what the fuck has changed? What thing has changed? Do you not remember how different? You were so different. You allowed me to.
I allowed you to
Present,
what?
and you were so present, and we were allowed to fight. We were not even fight. We had arguments. You weren't like this. Mood swings up, down, like really aggressive and then really cool and calm. I mean, you've given me this time here on the couch, and it's amazing that we can actually talk. But I never feel that safe. I constantly feel like you're about to fucking split, and I don't want to feel like that. You made me feel meaningless.
You threw me out of the room.
Yeah, why wouldn't I if I know that you're about to split? I mean, that's what I'm saying. You always split.
I wasn't about to split.
You always split, so that's... Why wouldn't... I mean, I do blame myself for my actions.
I was
yesterday,
laying in
but
bed
I also
watching
don't
television, man.
I
was laying in bed watching television.
I fucked up last night. I'm not going to defend myself. But I also can't blame like me going to the finish line when that's always where you drive it. You know?
But you're saying you thought you were sure I was going to split. But
always. I mean, that's just...
why would I split if I'm laying in the bed with you watching television?
Anytime I tell you that I'm unhappy with anything, and it's typically the same thing, anytime my voice and complaint, I'm not allowed to have a complaint. I'm not allowed to think anything wrong. I've told you this 1,000 times. 1,000 times I've said this to you in calm and in fights. Baby, I don't feel like I'm allowed to just have a complaint, and you aren't allowing me the luxury of us just being normal human couples. Like, as soon as you get mad, you take off on a train. Remember, I even asked you, is it about Adderall? Are you doing too much? I know it makes one edgy. It makes one, like, temperamental. Could it be too much? Like, what is it? The alcohol doesn't seem like it unless it's like in Toronto where it just became that. But in general, it hasn't been a problem so much. So I don't know what changed. I mean, I'm sure it's something, because it's not, it's chemical, it's strong.
No.
It's one day you were different.
It's the same.
And it hasn't been back.
It's the same changes that are happening in you. It's exactly the same. Huh?
I really wish that was the case.
That is the case.
I have always allowed you to fuck up and be a human. I've always been able to have a communication with you. The difference is you make it so we cannot even communicate at all if it's anything negative. You go, you take off on a train, you don't get off. You don't calm down. You don't come back around. You don't honor when you say, I just want a few minutes or I want a little time, but I'll be back. You don't assuage the anxiety and the stress that gives me and makes things worse with me by saying, hey, we will, remember Keeper was like, you have to say, I will be back in this amount of time, more or less, and then actually honor it. You have to come back. So I said, oh my God, if he could do that, that would be great. And you never do it. You know, you don't ever honor that. You leave me with way more anxiety, stress, anger, and resentment. But in Australia, for a few months, you were so...
So were you. It makes a difference. I wasn't being attacked.
I'm that. I have not attacked you any different. I haven't changed. I have not attacked you any different. I never attacked you. I never attack you. Just because I have a complaint with something you did is not an attack.
It becomes verbally insulting. It becomes all kinds of shit. It becomes like right at the get-go, yeah.
See, that's the problem. If you see any criticism as a verbal assault, of course we have this problem. We're going to have it next time you do. God forbid I have a problem with something you do. We're going to be in this situation. Are you ready for it?
Say it nice, man.
What if I'm hurt? Am I not allowed to be hurt and be human? That's the thing. You're not allowing me to be human then. You take my humanity from me. You're telling me I'm not allowed to feel things and I'm not allowed to react because to protect you.
Last night happened because I was at Isaac's for too long. Next door.
It happened because we could not
And for what? For what? What did we gain from this fight, from me just, the horrible fucking act of me being over at Isaac's for just too long
I did not
for you.
cause this because you were at Isaac's. You lie to yourself. Go ahead. You're just lying
Then
to
why
yourself.
were you upset last night?
This did not happen because of Isaac's. This happened because we're fighting. This is not about Isaac's. We actually haven't really even talked about that. We spent 2 seconds on it because it's not about that. It's bigger than that. The point is, I voiced a complaint. It could be anything. You could say, baby, you did something to hurt me. Which you did, and you admitted.
Why didn't you say that?
You admitted that you would feel that way too, and
Yes.
you said sorry for it. That would have been great, but I could not feel safe saying that to you because I knew that your reaction would very likely be a defensive explosion and an attack and freak out and get up and walk away and all this stuff, so I wanted to avoid it. So I took an Ambien to try and go to sleep without even having to speak to you about it because I was really hurt that you fucking left me stranded, you didn't think about me, you didn't text me, all the things that you apologized for. You already apologized for it. Can you do me one small favor and not take it back?
I ain't taking it back.
Stop defending it, please. You already apologized for it. It meant a lot to me. Do me one favor today. Don't take that back.
And what did I just say?
This isn't about Isaac, you know it. It is about us not allowing.
Is it about me showering?
No, it's about you not allowing me to have any problems with you or be upset at you or mad at you or even hurt by you at all. You do not allow it.
If you could have just said in a kinder way, a nicer way, like, listen, I feel fucked over by what you fucking just did.
You wouldn't freak out.
No, I would say fucking, what is it? Like what? And fucking too long at Isaac's. You said you wouldn't be that long or whatever. You shouldn't. I feel stranded. I felt fucking left. Whatever. What am I gonna fight with that? Why would I get mad at that?
Oh my God, the first thing you do is I don't have to text you and all, I mean you just it would be shitty. It would be a fight. It would be terrible. It would not be.
It was a fight.
Yeah, it was.
It was a fight. And it shouldn't have been. And so then the Isaac thing was the impetus because that was a lot of what you said today. Was it?
It was the impetus, but it's just a small example of a bigger thing. You know it's bigger.
Okay, so it's a bigger thing. It's coming from back in Australia.
No, it's like Australia. We were allowed to have fights. You can't sit here and tell me I can't feel things and I can't voice them to you. If we say to each other, you can't get mad and you can't be hurt by the other, then we're living in a fucking motherfucking fairy tale.
Look, then of course, nobody is able to and shouldn't hold shit in. But we can go to the other person and say, look, man, I feel fucked. I feel shit. I feel this. I feel that. And then we can assess how you feel. Well, fuck, I guess, oh shit, I see what you mean. I see what you mean, I get it. Or, fucking, I don't understand what you're saying, and you're wrong, and you're whatever.
But it's going to be the latter, and it's been the latter for months now, where that's your reaction, is not ever admitting wrong, ever doing anything wrong, ever admitting it. You always go straight to you're wrong, fuck you kind of thing. You don't say fuck you all the time right away, but I'm saying
always.
Like for months now, it's been, I can't voice any complaint. I can't say I'm feel fucked over. I can't say I'm hurt. I can't say you fucked up. I can't be mad at you. I can't be hurt. Nothing. Because I'm the bad guy. Oh, well, I'm always fucking up, and, like, you're always on me, and I'm always fucking up, and, like, getting mad at me for having for being honest with you. We've had a million fights where I'm like, I was honest with you. I told you how I felt. I mean, if you were me, wouldn't you feel bad? Yeah. Okay, well then, the fuck? We had these few months where we actually could even feel things and fight, and it was an argument. But you don't ever like, it's like you, I don't know what's changed, but it's like you can't ever just make it short and get over it. You can't. It's like you get on something and you will not get off of it. Hence why I'm always going to you in fights for hours trying to get you to calm down. Please, can we talk? Please, because I don't want to go to bed that way. And you told me you didn't want to go to bed that way either. Yet you want to fucking do this all night long and make it an all night thing by disappearing for hours at a time. And then when I come to you, I'm the bad guy. I feel fucking alone. I feel like you're not fucking helping. You're not fucking doing anything in fights. You're not overcoming yourself. You're not overcoming yourself. It's every one of these fights could have been so short. Why aren't you doing some of the work? Why aren't you coming to me and saying, look, olive branch? Why aren't you saying, I'm sorry, bigger picture, let's look at the bigger picture? Why aren't you doing any of this stuff? Have you noticed that you're not?
Do you remember thanking me for doing that, actually, recently? Thank you for being the bigger person. Thank you for coming and apologizing to me.
When?
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, when?
Was it, I don't know, honeymoon or Venice?
There's an example. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
remember which one it is, but
I'm really sorry, I don't remember exactly.
no.
if I
I wasn't questioning you. I'm sure
I'm
it
just
happened.
saying
I just don't remember that one time. But I'm
Yeah.
saying the majority of the time. And if you want to argue with that, then we'll never see eye to eye. I think you and I both know the truth. The majority of times, you cannot calm yourself, and it's me trying. Whether I'm hurt, whether I'm mad, whether you just told me you hate me in my eyes, I'm the one trying to get you to calm down, trying to get an olive branch, trying to not make it an all-night thing, trying to get over it, trying to see the bigger picture. Even if I'm hurt, I'm still trying to do it because I see the bigger picture. You lose the bigger picture every time. And if you want to stay married to me, we need to figure out if you think you can. If you're going to lose sight of the bigger picture and only be my husband when it's easy, you're only going to be there for the ups, never the downs. You're only going to be there for health, not sickness. Every time it gets hard, you lose the big picture and you can't think about anything else but breaking up, divorce, fighting, splitting, running away. If you can't be the one to come around sometimes and see the bigger picture and know that it's not worth fighting for days, if you can't do that too, we need to walk away. I don't want to walk away. I don't want to end this.
But do you not think you instigate the same thing?
I'm not talking about instigating, I'm talking about ending.
But ending, you don't...
I'm talking about ending.
Yeah, but you don't always do that. You don't always end up to be the one
remember
to
you
say...
had you
What
pointed
you
out an
do is,
example and
in
I
the
said,
morning,
okay,
you say, I'm
settle
sorry.
on the fullest. No, I do it at night. I do it at night. I come, whether it's night or day, I've done both. I've come to you every single time. On the plane I came to you, on the Venice I came to you, in Toronto I came to you, in what do you call it, San Francisco I came to you. I pull you into the bed or I hug you and I get us to calm down, and I'm glad I do because that's what makes it not be an all-night thing. And nothing harms our marriage more than sleeping in different beds because we're mad at each other or going to bed mad at each other. We made a promise. You didn't keep that promise, but we did make a promise to not do that. It was your choice not to live up to that promise, not mine. I tried to get you to come to bed when you were mad. I tried to get you to calm down so many times in Toronto.
Oh, it's wrong.
In Toronto, in Venice, in San Francisco, I would come to the 7 different bathrooms if you were, and try throughout, whether I was mad or hurt or not, because I saw the bigger picture. I didn't think it was worth this. I'm always the one trying to end it. You never let go of things. You constantly do this.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You're never the one coming to me and saying, let's not fight anymore. You're never the one saying, come, just get into bed, let's not go to bed mad like that. On the plane, it was me. In Toronto, it was me. It's always me.
On the plane here from Rio,
You don't want to admit it.
you were
Think about
losing your marbles.
Think about it.
I'm the one who came to you and said, let's calm down, please calm down. And you were blaming me
Think about it.
because your flight was going to get in late and you wouldn't be able to
Think about it.
have time before your thing.
Just think about it.
Oh, no.
Majority of our fights,
No, absolutely. Okay, I'll admit that. Yeah, the majority of our fights, I hang on to it because it's fucking hard to let go of. Some of the shit that you go through in a fight can be
Yeah.
painful, and it's hard to forget shit.
Yeah, no shit. But if you want to keep doing this and live a life where you constantly are using that as ammunition, which you could shoot yourself in the fucking head, that's fine. Okay. But at least admit you're doing that. If you want to hold on to everything and never get over it and never let go, then don't scratch your head and go, I wonder why I'm so aggressive when you point out anything I did wrong. I wonder why I have so much resentment for you. I wonder why we fight so much. Stop scratching your head and wonder and just admit that's because you never let a fucking thing go. You can't get over anything, and that you won't and cannot calm yourself down when you're mad.
So it's all my fault.
No. It's not. It's not.
Yet you can sit here and find blame in everything that I do. But you never say a thing about yourself.
I think I've included myself.
You copped her last night.
I have included myself. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I made so many mistakes. What I'm talking about, I'm not guilty of. I'm not do let things go. I move this relationship forward. I fight for us when it's on the line. I do let things go. I see the bigger picture.
You said you
I'm
said I'm tired too, man. You said you see the bigger picture and you do let things go. Yet after Toronto, you're looking for apartments.
That was a hard one, and I did not say it 100% of the time. And no
And the
part
plane
of
was
this
a
conversation
fucking hard
did I
one,
say,
too.
no part of this conversation did I say I am perfect. I did not claim that.
I know you didn't.
I'm claiming the vast majority of time these are the patterns, and I own them. I'm right. You know it, and you don't have to admit it, but you know what I'm saying is true. I'm able to see the bigger picture as well. Whether I'm mad or hurt, I do mean for better or for worse. I have honored my word to not leave. You ditched me last night, and I understand. I understand how shitty that got, and I understand my part in it. But it is a reaction to this fucking situation we've created. It's about to crack, and I'm trying. I can't be the one. And this whole time, I also don't want to make me unhappy. It makes me miserable. And then that's the trust I'm talking about.
Well, like I said, the last thing in the world I want is for you to be unhappy or for me to let you down. And I do. And I do make you unhappy, and I do let you down.
Only you know if you can change it or do better. I know you're not perfect. I've seen you be pretty damn close. I've seen you do better than this. I've seen you control yourself more. I've seen you react less. I've seen you be less. I've seen you have way more control over yourself. So fucking edgy, and you get so mad so fast, and you stay mad. I've seen this happen before, and I've also seen you better. I've seen you clearer. I've seen you better. I've seen you do better, and you don't let me down. And I subsequently will do better and let you down less. I hope. But I'm not changing how I do things. You're changing how you do things. This is dramatic change. And it's been a few months now, and I'm begging you. Now is the time. If you choose to stop it, fucking great. I'll be with you to change. But I can't set myself up to be the only one to keep promises and then wind up in another situation like Toronto, where you're booking the room or trying to get me on a flight, or I'm not saying any of the things, and I'm hearing all this shit, and I'm not defending myself, and I'm coming to you saying I love you, and I'm trying to protect you from yourself, and I get destroyed. I can't do it again. I won't ever survive through that again. And I don't want to. You made me unhappy.
I don't want to. I don't want you to.
When you leave me like that,
I don't want to be unhappy.
instead of just like.
You're saying, you're saying to me that I would, for a long time, I was able to keep everything together, and when we fought,
Do you remember?
like, be cool. Yeah, exactly. And it was for a while, right?
Yeah, it was.
So-
and we could have arguments. It was like, okay, normal. Now
Right.
we can't have we can't have an argument. No.
Right, but there was one or two in Australia when I was calm-headed and all that shit. That, I mean, what am I reacting to? If I'm trying to keep a cool head, I'm reacting to you fucking jumping.
No, before a jump, just a normal argument. Maybe there's a difference. There is in middle ground.
There
Sometimes
is, but
you just go, that was rude, or you snap.
That
you
you
say,
tend
baby,
you tend to
snap.
jump. You tend to jump.
Okay, all right. This is before the jump. This is like a normal. Fuck, man, that really fucking sucks. Like I matter too, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's not.
You think you don't matter with me?
It's not. That's the point. It's an example.
I'm sorry.
There are times when you can make for months now consistently.
No, I had no idea.
You have been. I did. I've told you a million times. I've actually told you probably about 5 times. I can't have a normal complaint. I can't have a normal complaint. I can't have any problems with you. Baby, I feel like I can't tell you anything's wrong. Baby, I feel like I can't be honest with you. Baby, you gotta relax a little. What the fuck? I gotta be able to tell you if something's wrong. How many times have you heard me say that? I have told you this. I've also mentioned how different it was in Australia and begged for whatever that. Is it clarity? Is it less Adderall? I don't know. Is it work? Is it, like something's affecting you, and I am not judging you. I'm not. In fact, you have elucidated my opinion on medication. Do I not give you your meds every day? Do I not remind you to take them?
Of course.
Do I not? I know that you have to take medication. I am very aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have actually changed my mind a bit as to how necessary they can be. I used to kind of think that they were not superfluous, but I don't know, just like
An escape.
yeah. And now I don't think that, and that's because of you. You changed my opinion about that. But I do know you, and you don't know moderation very well. You're allergic to moderation. So I balance you out, I think, a little bit. I try to keep you safe. I try to keep on you a little bit to remind you to take the good ones, Do I not?
You do. You listen.
And do I ever give you a hard time?
You look at no, but the meds. No, you spoil me. Look, you do all those wonderful things. You take my boots off.
I'm
when I
not
go
tooting
from
my
work.
own horn. I'm
No,
taking medication.
I'm not saying you're tooting your own horn. I'm saying there are a lot of beautiful and wonderful things that you do for me that I've never even dreamt like that someone would be so fucking caring as to, hey baby, it's time for your meds, and it's so beautiful that your wife is, doing that. It's beautiful that, the act of just simply taking my fucking boots off when I get home from work. That is monumental stuff to me. The care throughout the day. Here, drink this vitamin water. There are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things that I could go on and on about you, about us, about how you've made me feel, how you've changed my life, how but I do not want to be. I don't want to be a fucking shithead in your eyes.
Thank you for saying
No, that's true, man. It's true. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of positives. There are a lot of positives. I'm not just saying it. I'm being honest.
I feel the same way.
What?
I meant it, what I said earlier. If you were not a favorite person, it'd be so easy to walk away. For you too, I'm sure. You know, if you, God, I mean, I think about all the times it would have been very easy to walk based on the bad, on the stress and the fight. But I can't because you're my favorite person. The most beautiful, dynamic, shiny, smart, sexy thing. I can't. It's something you fight for. But I'm trying. I just want to feel safe again. I want the stability. I mean, we meant marriage for life, right? We meant like better and worse and all that stuff, even though we didn't say the words.
Of course, and we did.
Better or worse, we didn't. So, but maybe.
Whitney said for better or for worse.
She did.
Yeah.
And then.
But it is for better or for worse for me. It is.
I feel.
I didn't leave last night
You're
because
making me feel like it's like not like you're not there for.
I left last night, honestly, I swear to you, because I just couldn't take the idea of more physicality, more physical abuse on each other. Because had we continued, it would have gotten fucking bad. And baby, I told you this once, and I'm scared to death of it. We are a fucking crime scene waiting to happen if we don't get our shit together. And that, by getting our shit together, that might mean fucking A, we do this and we make it. That might mean, goddamn, you know, you say, I've tried and done, toodaloo. But we've got to get our shit together as individuals and as a couple. Because I love you, and I do not want to leave you. I do not want a divorce. I do not want you out of my life. I just want peace. And if I'm the culprit, majority of the time, I will fucking do everything I can. And I will recognize when I'm fucking starting to go sideways. I will recognize it. But please do the same. Please do the same. And it's okay to fight, like you said. It's okay.
You gotta. How do you remember that? I mean, how do you know that? Because sometimes you're so clear as to what is priority to you and what you care about, and then you seem to forget it when you get mad.
I could say the same thing about you, Angel.
Sure. But I'm asking you, like, what do you do to like, how, if it was just up to self-control, maybe we would have.
That's why I think the list is important.
Yeah.
Two lists.
I want a list, though, of what.
One, here are things that you do that can hurt me or fuck with me or makes me mad or this or that. And, you know, and we take it without freaking out. Just take it and own it and study it and fucking, and if we have a different opinion, let's talk it out a little bit. Let's talk it out a little bit. And I'll make a fucking list, you make a fucking list of all the things that you think you do that you'd like to change. The things that I do that I'd like to change. In fact, that's the first list we should write.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. The first list that you mentioned, it just, someone once said to me, as soon as you start listing what you don't like about the other, the relationship's over. Where they kind of said it as this aside. They were like, well, that's how you know that.
Send me write me a letter, put it in an envelope every morning if you want, or on our little notebook.
What? What you do wrong?
No, please don't. Please love me today. Please don't hurt me today. Please don't get crazy today.
But then what happens if one of us gets hurt or mad? Because that's life. It will come up. If we don't do things differently, I want a list of things that we don't do. I can't keep throwing our relationship in the air every time we get mad because all bets are off every time the blood pressure goes up a certain amount.
Look, these don't have to be followed through with. These are just things that I suggest because I don't give a fuck some cock says it. Well, as soon as you make a list, it's like, yeah, fuck that.
I don't know. I just need some. I'll do it.
I don't look. It doesn't have to be gross. It just you've just. But, I mean, I don't need a list. You just went through the majority. And I went through a lot of mine. And you don't have to make the other fucking list. I'll make the other list.
No, I'm not saying I don't want to make that list. I agree about that one. I just want to know what we're going to do differently and how to help check each other on what the other one needs so that it doesn't get to this point. I can't keep living like this.
Oh, I can't keep living like this either.
I've got less.
I've got less time on the fucking planet than you. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life fucking fighting with and being a drag to someone that I fucking adore. I'm not gonna live my life like that, man. The rest of my fucking days, which fuck, what I got. Who knows? Fucking month, fucking 2 weeks, goddamn 30 years. I don't fucking know, but life is short, precious. I don't want to fuck up yours. I don't want you to fuck up mine. I'd like a bit more understanding from both of us.
That sounds very good, and I agree. But what about the...
In the moment.
What are we going to do different in the moment when you're mad and you go fuck it?
In the moment.
Decide all bets are off.
In the moment. Look what I did in Australia. Look what I accomplished. I put the fucker away. I told myself every fucking day, no, he's gone. No, he's not. Fucking put him away. I put him away. And by a list of the things that I feel that fuck you over or make you feel shitty or anything like that, when we're in the moment, I remember it. I remember what I put on my list. I remember it, and I try to bring it down notches, many notches. I'll try. If we're heightened, to say, please, I don't want you to feel this. I don't want to feel this. Let's.
I need to know what we need to do different. I need to know.
It's got to be done with your mind and your heart.
What do we do different if I have a problem? You need to tell me how to tell you different if I'm hurting you. You need to let me be able to be mad. Sometimes you're going to make me mad. I'm a human. I cannot live where it's like...
Well, then it's the same thing goes for me then. You're going to have to allow me to get mad.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but I get mad and then you start fucking yelling.
I don't have to start yelling. I think I start yelling once it gets fucking heightened. I've gotten a lot better about that. It's just only, I only start yelling when it's fucking hour 11 and we're really in it.
Yeah, you haven't gotten better about that. Otherwise we wouldn't have had 3 physical fights in the last month and a half, 2 months.
I'm talking about the yelling.
No, but we you witnessed it. You're the one that brought it up. Australia was fucking great. We just argued. Let's go back there. Let's go back there in our fucking heads and in our hearts. Let's go back there. And no, on your list.
Is the monster gone? Did you put him away? It's been so, when you get on that train, you get angry, you stay on it for so long, and you won't come down, you won't talk to the person that is you.
That's not always
It doesn't
big.
have to always be the monster. But what is it? Can you put that away? Can you remember the bigger picture? You don't want to spend your life. I've asked you this so many times in fights. You want to spend your time like this. No, you don't. But I ask you because this is something you're choosing. I'm saying to you, olive branch. And you don't take my olive branches. You made me feel humiliated for offering them. You asked me to stay in Australia. I stayed, and then you walk out on me all the time. You've got to take some olive branches from me. You've got to offer them too. You've got to be bigger than what you feel at that moment. And so do I. So do I. But if I call you on it, will you hear it?
Yeah.
Will you call me out on it if I'm doing it?
Oh, yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I'll do it in a fucking as peaceful a fucking and as calm a manner as I possibly can. I don't want to instigate any fights. I do not want to fight anymore.
Say we're having an argument and you get mad.
An argument's an argument.
Yes, but say we're having an argument and you get mad. It asks them, how do you talk to the you that's in front of me right now? What do I need to say? What do I need to do? We don't want to spend our life mad like that. Doesn't mean you have to like what I'm saying or doing or vice versa, but
Can't
can
you just say,
calm down?
baby, please don't get the monster. Please don't, let's not yell. Please don't, you know what I mean? And I'll do the same.
Promise.
I have done the same. What?
You promise.
Yeah, I mean, what? Yes. Why would I say it if I didn't?
Because sometimes you don't keep what you say, and I want this to be
So
different.
now my words are worse.
No, that's not the case. It's just that sometimes when you get mad, it's like you disconnect from the person that you are right now. And I'm wondering just how to, what's the communication, what's the phone number, for that.
And you, how do I calm you down when you go into a flurry?
Maybe say, remind me, remember what we talked about? Baby, please calm down.
Please look at the bigger picture.
Something that will remind me of this conversation, when I'm upset and I'm feeling like it's pointless,
Don't ever lie.
I don't ever lie. I know you and I see things differently sometimes, but I'm not lying. For someone who, I know that's your deepest fear and that's why it comes up in fights and stuff, but you got a trust issue in general in life.
Oh, yeah.
I never fucked you over, and I'm not going to, and anybody who knows me, if they had to list 2 or 3 things about me, adjectives about me, one of those 3 would be super honest, straightforward, honest. Everyone else in my life, I know you have trust issues, but you can't let it cloud who you know with me. Please. It comes up a lot. I know you have an issue with it. It's not me. You can trust me. If anything...
Say that to me at the time.
What? Say what? Though?
What you just said. Say that stuff to me at the time. If I'm starting to fucking flip, you're off to a movie, or I'm off to a movie, whatever.
I feel like I do, but I guess I should say it differently. I'll find another way. I'll pay attention to how I say
It
it.
depends, yeah. Let's both pay attention to how we talk to each other. To respect each other.
You know, we're not going to do that all the time. Sometimes we're going to be shitty or
Of
whatever.
course not.
But when we make a promise to each other about the rings and the divorce,
No rings, no divorce.
we promise each other.
And
Please, I want so bad to feel like the marriage
I promise you.
worked so hard to make happen is like meaningful.
Don't talk about making the wedding happen. Talk about the 4 years we've spent together, please.
Yes, but I want to make. I have those 4 years, no matter what. But I fought for that wedding, and we had that wedding, a beautiful wedding. For what? If we don't, I want to like it means something that there's some.
Yeah. It did mean something, and it does mean something. And I didn't get married to you to fucking. Just fucking, 17 more fights and it's fucking over with. We got married. I knew the fucking fights weren't gonna stop, but I thought maybe it would curb them a little.
I wanted the security back. I freak out. I freak out and cannot make normal decisions, calm decisions, or ones from the heart where I'm thinking of you more than me when I feel like you're splitting on me all the time, when the marriage is on the rock. I make the same mistake about throwing our marriage around. I won't do it again. I'm not going to do it again. Okay?
Please.
I'm not, I promise. But there's something so anxiety provoking and scary and malicious and really just turns everything over when you split all the time. Please, if you really don't want to fight and you're not just trying to hurt me, which sometimes it is that, if you really, really, if you really love me and you do care about this, please find a good way to do it, one that's respectful. You can tell me that you are. I need to know that we will be able to talk about it, because the problem I have is when we don't communicate. It comes into me, it builds up in me, and becomes cancer in me. It got worse every day when we were back from Toronto. It got worse every single day. Not better, worse. Until we spoke about it. Until Whitney's birthday, and we talked about it. Then it was okay, but I don't want to resent you.
I don't want to resent you. I don't want to not trust.
You know how many times I've chased you out of the elevator in the hall? I gotta stop doing that. I'm not nitpicking. I don't mean to be focusing on something, but if it's a major thing to me, and it is a major...
If things get physical, we have to separate.
No,
We have to be apart from one another. Whether it's for fucking an hour, or 10 hours, or fucking a day. We must. There can be no physical violence towards each other.
I agree about the physical violence, but separating for a day or night and taking a night off from our marriage, it just means it opens up.
Listen, I'm just giving examples. It could be fucking 3 minutes, it could be fucking 2 weeks. I'm just saying.
But we need to agree on certain boundaries, so we have boundaries again. We need to make agreements and hold each other accountable to them, and ourselves accountable to them, which is why I'm even bringing this up.
I'm not...
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying anything negative.
I know.
All I'm saying is, we need to take whatever time we need, you need, or I need, to kind of let things settle for a minute, so that we don't fucking kill each other, or fucking worse, fucking, like, really kill each other. or fucking break up or whatever.
Just don't. I think that
Help me, and
I
I'll help you.
this is the thing that makes me feel unsafe and unstable. To be honest, this is what makes me not trust.
What's that?
It's that there's like
Walking away, going to a corner.
no loophole. It's like, oh, okay, well, take the time you need, take the time I need. Okay, fine. Every time I get mad at you, I can go split. Except for, oh wait, I don't have my own place to go split to.
No, Amber, stop.
You know, it makes me think I should. It makes me, you know, I don't have a place I can go. I don't have it. I'd have to go to a hotel, you know, and I don't have the funds to do that. I mean, it's.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Look, I think we should control ourselves and not get physical. And if it gets physical, and we've dropped that wall, then we're gonna drop the other ones. And it's gonna be like, you're gonna fucking split, or I'm gonna fucking split, and this isn't gonna come back.
You may be right, but you can't predict the future once again. Here's what I'm saying. If the fight escalates to the point of where it's just insulting for both of us, or if it gets to that physical fucking shit, the violence, that's when we just say, look, let's go to our corners, man. You hang wherever you want, baby. I'm going in the office, and I'm just gonna fucking sit there and try and de-jellify my fucking brain. I'm not talking about me running out of the fucking house. I'm not talking about me, you know, splitting because I'm fucking cunt and a coward and or whatever. I'm talking about go to our corners. I'll go to my little office. You can have the house. You just take the house and wander wherever you want. I won't fucking come bother you. You know, and if at a point you're feeling like better after 10 minutes, come knock on the door.
I always do that.
And please let me finish.
So.
And if in 10 minutes I'm feeling like, all right, I got the solution for this, or I know how to, we can, you know, please, I'll come knock on your fucking door, or I'll come find you.
Have you tried?
What?
Have you tried to not make it
I've just told you.
an all-night thing? I wasn't done. Will you try and not make it a lifestyle? I mean, will you try and remind yourself that they can just be fights? We try and
Absolutely.
respect that it doesn't have to be an all-night.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go to bed mad, and we were doing really good with each other. We didn't for a long time.
I don't want. I know, but we weren't insulting one another to the point of like, wow, you know, like the way I insulted you in Toronto, or the way you insulted me on the plane, or where, you know, whatever. Let's not get to that point. That's nothing. That's bullshit. That's kindergarten shit. We don't fucking need to do that. What we could do is just try to be fucking calm and say, look, this is getting somewhere I don't like. Please, let's take an hour max. I'll go in and fucking write and try and figure it out, get it out, whatever. I'm just making suggestions to try and fucking save us, you know?
We gotta honor our promises. I cannot, nor can you. You don't deserve to be in a relationship
No.
that is walked away from all the time. I can't. I would never want you to do that. I never want you to be in that. You deserve better. So do I. I
Indeed.
cannot be constantly, anytime I'm upset or mad or hurt or anything, I fuck up. God, if I yell, if I fuck up ever, ditched. That's not marriage. You know, most people don't have 2, 3 houses they can go to. It's always, I'm in your house, and you always split.
Listen, you can't be saying that if that's what you feel, you feel that from you, because you didn't get that from me. I never fucking said, this is my house and my house only.
Kind of, but
No.
I know yesterday
No, that's our fucking house. It's our fucking...
always remind me that
I got Rocky and Josh living there. I got Whitney living there. Don't.
But you say it in fights. You use it in fights, and I'm sorry, but I feel like, look, forget it. I just
don't think that you
I just
know.
want the security and the commitment from you that we have destroyed, both of us. And I don't know if that matters to you. But personally, like, if you need that.
It absolutely matters to me.
But I do. And I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'm gonna do everything to change. Promise you. I'm not gonna throw around divorce. I will not say divorce unless I really mean it. Unless it's it. And then I hope you leave me. I'm not going to, and me too. I will leave you. It's fair. I can't do it, you know? And I think, honestly, if we hold each other accountable to that, it's fair.
That's what I said earlier. Look, if we get to that point where it's like, this is...
It's a line we don't cross.
Too fucking much. Let's, we fucking, man, shake hands and walk away, you know?
But you don't do it until you mean it. That's my point.
Trust me, if I'm not gonna do it unless I mean it.
Promise.
If I say it, I will be leaving. Or if you say it, I'll get the fuck out or whatever, you know.
Promise.
Yeah, I
that
promise.
ring does not come off.
Unless I say the word or unless you say the word. Well, or you just take the ring off, because that's the same thing. That'll be the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think our marriage should be something used at all. In fact, if you want a fucking divorce, you're gonna tell me, not in a fight. Let's be honest. That's a decision, a lifelong decision that even you and me as hotheads know you can't make forever decisions when you're mad like that. It certainly feels like you can, but you and I both, even though we're hotheads, we do know the difference. However, I don't think it's something we should ever say to each other in a fight, ever. And if you promise me, and I promise you, and we need that, we need to hold each other accountable again. I want to feel safe. I have nothing to cling on to. You didn't even come home last night. I feel like I have nothing to cling on to. A semblance of marriage or commitment or stability. I mean, if I can just get up and walk away and spend the night somewhere else.
You obviously can.
Yeah, but believe it's done if I do that. That's it's not marriage.
We talked about it. You know why I left.
I do know why you left.
I'm saying now that I won't do the same thing. I mean, that I will not do that. I will not fucking leave until some rational decision is made. If it's the end, it's the end. If it's the fucking, if we can keep going, we'll keep going. But yeah, promise. I promise you. Promise. trust me. Sorry?
I want to be in my marriage, you know. I want to be, I want to commit to you forever. Good, bad, better, worse. I don't want it to be as transient as whatever fight we're fighting for. I don't want any loopholes, any, oh, it's okay to leave, it's acceptable to do this, or it's acceptable to say this about like splitting or breaking up or leaving. We should fall asleep together every night. Ideally, never mad. Ideally, never mad. I'd love to say
Of course.
you could promise that, but I don't know if it's possible. I'd love to strive for it.
Yeah, you weren't ready for that last night, for sure.
No, I fucked up last night. I'm really sorry.
So let's understand that we're both guilty of the same shit at times.
And no one's saying it more than me, though. I
So
am
let's-
saying that.
So let's
It's just chronically overweighed with, and I need that to be something you realize and that you know. And it's affecting not just me, it's affecting our marriage. It's affecting how I trust, how I resent you, how I like you without the fight being happening.
No, I know, but when
I'm not trying to rub your nose in it. I feel sometimes like you omit something, you acknowledge it, it'll be beautiful, and then you'll go back on it, kind of in your in the vocabulary after, and then I feel like, wait a second, is he taking it back? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but like I said before, there's not. I don't have the. I haven't cornered the market on that. You know, when you start the fucking yelling, there's. You know, it fucking gets crazy. You know, it gets fucking crazy. You know, and that makes me not feel for lack of a better word, safe within the relationship. You know, understanding of, oh well, it's just nothing. Because if it keeps going, if it's always sort of there, then you know, I worry. Yeah, I fucking worry about the marriage. I worry, how much longer can I deal with this? How much longer can she deal with this? Fuck, man. So I've had the same trust issues. I've had the same disappointments. I've had the same, you know, maybe not to the degree you have. I'm assuming so. But yeah, man, when you start fucking honking, you know what I mean? It's pretty.
Call it out. Call me out on it and help me.
I will try.
Help me, because I might not even realize I'm doing it, but you've got to help me.
I will try.
It can't be an excuse to leave.
I will try to help you. If I try to help you and I can help you, fuck would I leave? If I try to help you and I can't help you, I say, baby, I'm taking an hour, I'm in my fucking office.
Yes.
If you want to talk, if you want to come get me, otherwise I'll come check on you in an hour.
That would be really helpful.
All right?
And I promise you I'll leave you alone for that hour. I promise you I'm not going to freak out.
I just want you to have your time to be able to calm down, or my time to be able to calm down.
But it really helps if you give it time. If it's not just
Say an hour.
even if you just say it will, you know, like I promise to resume this. I just need to know that we will talk about it. Otherwise, I'm dealing with cancer. I'm dealing with something that just festers and gets worse and worse. So you have to realize that, you know, in that kind of situation, a few minutes is fine, but then after a certain point, it becomes way worse, and I become way harder to reason, to rationalize with. I become that Kipper. can tell you. He says he's the same way. That's how I work. And you work a very different way. We need to meet in the middle, you know?
Yeah. I do understand that. I mean, I do understand all that. But I also want you to understand that, you know, there were great moments of high hopes that it was just all cool. And then, you know, whatever happens, this happens, that happens, fucking, you know, we have a spat or a fight or a fucking blowout. I just want you to know that the way you're feeling about being unsure of us, of the marriage, of this, whether you can trust me to be this, or whether you can, you know, or whether I can do the same. I feel very much the same.
At least you have the added luxury that you take for granted. No offense, you do.
What do I take for granted?
That you have the added luxury of knowing that I'm there and that I mean it forever and that because I show up. I'm knocking. I'm the one who asks to calm down. I'm the one that comes to get you on the plane. I'm the one that comes and knocks at the bathroom door. I'm the one that comes into the house that you've run away to. I'm the one that comes to you and says, this isn't worth it. Let's fight for this marriage or whatever. You have an added luxury that you just are taking for granted in such a big way. And you don't know how much that means. If I ran from you the way I used to before the marriage, we would not be together. When I used to run away when I felt like it was justified, how many times we almost break up? How terrible was that? How terrible was it for you? We would not be together if I did that. And you take it for granted that I show up and that I fight for us and that I am the one to come over. I'm the one that comes out into the hall. I am the one. I have a hothead just like you, but what a luxury you have. If you take that for granted, what a luxury. I'd do anything to have that feeling. If at least in the back of my mind, I know that you showed up, that you fought for me, that you cared enough to.
Here's what you're missing in that little, you know, paragraph. What you're missing is, you're the one who comes and gets me. You're the one who comes and says you're sorry. That you're the one that comes and tries to calm me down. You're the one. But why am I riled up?
We're both riled up.
No,
it's not like every time I've done something to you in a vacuum, baby. That's what you don't get. I don't doubt you're riled up, but I'm riled up too. And I said this to you on the couch. I've said this to you before. We both have. It's subjective. You have your reasons. I have my reasons. For every action, there is something that caused it, and I have the same thing. I'm mad in the same way. But
what caused it? What caused it could be so irrational and so far-fetched and so minute.
That's what I say to you every time that you want to have a big fight. Every time I go, this could be something small. Why wasn't this just an argument? Baby, why wasn't this just an argument? Yes, so you're right. Sometimes it could be very small. Sometimes it's not. Either way, it doesn't negate what I'm saying to you. What a gift. Like, I would do anything to trade places with you. You talk about insecurity.
I don't know how you can say I'm
and
taking it
trust,
for granted. That's a fucking insult, man.
You talk about trust and, like, you feel the same way. You don't feel this. You couldn't. Because the difference is, you at least have the knowledge in the back of your head that you can fall back on, that I showed up, that I fought for you, that I checked on you, that I came to get you, that I said I love you, that I saved the marriage. If it were up to you and I treated you the way you treated me, we would not be together. Let's face it. It's because I fucking fight for this. It's because I come over. And last time I didn't, which is what I should always do, and I am learning my fucking lesson, it's just, when you walk, fucking let you walk. And that time, I can't tell you how done I was. It was like this time in Toronto. I was looking for apartments. I was preparing to tell my folks, my parents. I was done. And you called me and you were like, well, I'm about to go out of town or whatever, and ended up like that, whatever. I told you I wasn't ready to see you because it had gotten so much worse that I was basically calling. I was like, I just need to change my life, and my life is different. I am no longer with this person, and I'm now single. I need to, get my shit together, find an apartment, do all this stuff. It got so much worse, and honestly, if that happens one more time, we will break up. I know it. I know we won't survive it. That was so severe. The damage was so severe. When you spent a week here, you said, I'm going to go away for a day. You wrote me a note and left it on the kitchen counter, and he said, I just need to clear my head for a night, maybe 2. I didn't hear from you for 6. No, this is here. You came here, I stayed downtown. You were gone for 6, 7 days. And then I didn't even let you spend the night in the house. Remember, you came over, we talked. I wasn't even ready. No one, you know how long it took me to take down those walls that I built up? It took forever to build those. It took me so long to trust you, even a little bit again. I resented you so much. The damage was very deep. And I know that if I let that happen again, in my heart, I know we wouldn't survive it. So, you walk out, and I have one option. That's why I come to you. If I let it go, like I did last time, which is what I should do, because if you're willing to walk out, you should be walking out. But I let it go, and it was a fucking week. And it took... and I'll never get some of that back. I'll never have that trust quite the same way. You left me a note saying I'm going to be gone for a night. And we didn't speak for a week. I didn't even hear from you. You didn't check on me, nothing.
So you thought we were broke up?
Oh, yeah. I was preparing to have that conversation with you and be done.
Oh, so you just said you were single.
No, I said I was preparing myself to think that way. Take care of my own life. Get my own, apartment. That's not...
Well, I hope it doesn't get to that.
No, of course, but I'm just saying, when I didn't fight for it, when I let it go, it's devastating. Devastating in my heart, my soul, on my trust. Oh, they can't do it again. You probably wouldn't want me to do it again. At least you have in the back of your mind that I come and I show up. I fight. I come. I don't have that.
I don't take that for granted, by the way. I don't always know that you'll come. I don't always know that you'll be knocking. I don't always know that you want to talk. I go because I think, fuck, we're screwed. Can't live like this.
Let's stop you from doing that again. Thinking that again.
Well, like I said, or like you said, you walk out the door, you walk out the door. That is the same as rings off. That's the same thing as mentioning divorce. There's no talking unless we just want to try to be civil with one another as fucking people who are married. And I hate to talk like, I hate even saying that kind of shit, but yeah, if I walk out again, I'm walking out, and I'll know that, and you'll know that. You do that, same deal. you to gain trust, respect, whatever you feel you've lost from me. That's huh?
I hope you can't.
And I hope you can make the changes that fuck with me. And if we want to do it, we'll do it. Ultimately, if we don't want to do it, we know the result. Because we're definitely at the end of any of that shit. All the anger at each other. We're definitely at the end of that kind of shit. There's no more. No more.
Can you let it go? Can you let go of some of these fights?
Yeah, I can let the fights go.
I just feel like we hold on to everything when we just fight about the same, you know?
But it,
My mom said, either of us are forgiving each other.
well, I don't think we can forgive each other this quickly. I think
I'm not saying that.
with time, it'll lessen. But everything that I said, you know, is not. You're not going to be able to unhear it. And the same with me. You won't be able to unhear it. And they are horribly thought-provoking, but just got to write it off, you know, and get past it. If I didn't want to be with you, I wouldn't be with you. If you didn't want to be with me, you wouldn't be with me. And that's really what it boils down to. So if we want to be together, let's do our best to fix what's broken within the machine, within our machine, the machine that is us.
That's why I came. That's why I came. I'm still married to him.
I hated it. I hated having to leave. I hated fucking getting here. I couldn't fall asleep. Fucking ambient and a half finally. And, you know, woke up like 3 hours fucking later. You know, feeling like, why? Fucking why?
Hope this is important enough for you to fight for.
It is important enough for me to fight for. But why do you say that?
Then I can't do it alone. I woke up first thing and called you. Called you last night. I just was so foolish. you know. And I understand part of it, but I also see like you know I love you. I know I've got my fuck ups and my issues. At least you know I love you. You know I love you more than me. You know, at least you know that. You do know that.
Like what? Like what? You
That
love
I love you more than me. That I love you.
more than yourself?
Yeah. You don't debase yourself and embarrass yourself like that isn't for you. It's because you're worried about protecting yourself.
I don't think you debased yourself in any way. I think it's very brave. I think it's a very
Your feet are swollen.
admirable. What?
Your ankles are swollen. You took your morning meds?
It doesn't swell.
What?
It's swelling.
Not swelling?
No, it's fucking
Oh, you must just be where this off.
like a muscle I love you. Don't wanna do anything bad to you. I don't want to harm you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't. So like I said, I'll do every fucking thing I can. It's gotta be reciprocal.
Yes. I agree.
And what you did by calling me last night, you fell asleep on the phone. You did realize that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to ambient myself. Again.
It's alright. I said a sweet goodnight to you while you were sleeping.
Did you tell I was sleeping?
I thought you were sleeping once before. I think you might have fallen asleep once before. And then woke up and continued talking. And then I was saying something, talking, and then suddenly there was just no more. It's gone.
I really don't want to sleep without you. Again, we can't. There's a better way.
Let's find it. Don't slug me.
Please don't. I'm sorry I did.
It's okay, just...
But you know, sometimes that fucking thing happens. You do it too sometimes, where you just...
I know.
But it can't be like the end of... Our marriage is bigger than that, obviously.
We don't need to ever get to that point.
I agree. I agree, but...
I hope we don't. I hope we don't. I love you. I want you to be my wife. And I want to be your husband. I want to be a good husband. And if I haven't been, I'll do everything I can to find out how to be a good husband.
You're a great husband. You really are. It's just hard if anything comes up, if someone bumps your shoulder on a crowded sidewalk. You know, we're wearing white again, not black, so it makes a difference. It's a big deal if there's a bump. It's hard. I love you, and I know we can be so good.
Amazing.
And I'm here, trying to move forward. forgive each other.
Listen,
We have to
I
forgive
know we
each
had our
other.
fights today to try to settle whatever the fuck, all this scrambled, crazy shit that one thing reminds you of another, and you find yourself going back into some other fight, and it's all scrambled, it's all fucking jumbled, it's like white noise all moving around, a little thing. I'm glad that we got to a point where we were shitty with each other. I'm glad we got to a point where we didn't fucking know how this was gonna end. But I'm telling you, by coming here today, it is fucking courageous, and it's fucking admirable. For you to come here and talk to me and try and work things out. And to tell me these problems, things that I do to fuck with you, I want to change it. I want you to change it. I want us to change it together.
Thank you for sitting through and actually having a conversation with me. I did not expect that. But I'm really proud of you for not running away, walking away, or anything. I'm proud of you for that. It means that we can actually hash out these things. Some things have to be said, and maybe left.
Huh?
And maybe left.
Left behind.
We will never forget a lot of things, but we can forgive. We really do need to. We need to we really need to. My mom's right. There's absolutely, it's just adding weight. We're just carrying around those stones. And Mom is right. I know she is.
She is right. She's right on the fucking money. She's on it. We can make it if we want to. We can get through this shit if we want to. And if you're unsure right now, then
No, I'm not. I love you. I love you. I needed the security thing. I needed to have something to hold on to. Or else why?
tell me shit. Just tell me. Before it becomes something you've held inside for so long that it wants to just explode. Just tell me. And I'll tell you the same. And then, once we can fucking get the shit out without it being some used drama, or even if it is a used drama, once we can get the shit out, recognize it, and like you said, fucking, it's gone. Chuck it. Doesn't work. That method does not work. Bam, it's gone. Next. I'd fucking die if I start. And it kills me that possibility that you would think that I take so much for granted, or that I'm untrustworthy, or a bad husband, or
I didn't say you were untrustworthy.
no, I'm just saying it's
And
just
I said what I needed to say. I'm not gonna. You know, I won't.
I know, baby. I'm not asking you to elaborate on anything I'm saying. All I'm saying is I would fucking die if I knew that was how you thought of me. And now I know what I know. And I'll fucking do my best to get it together, so that I don't fuck with you and you don't fuck with me. And we're a couple again, and we're friends again. So I don't fight with you. Love.
So I promise it won't explode if we just do the things a little different in the fight. You know, like, don't walk away from me. Do it in a different way, and I promise I won't resort to the same shit. I promise. Okay?
Thank you. Maybe when that fucking hocus pocus happens and we get all fucking edgy with each other, instead of standing squaring off like a couple of fighters, maybe let's try to sit down. Seriously, you know, like, sit down. Even if we say, hey, listen, we're fighting like bastards, let's sit down and have a glass of wine and talk through this. I know you got it in you. I know you got it in you. And I know that I have it in me. It's just a question of realizing and admitting what, you know. And I realize and I admit. What you got?
I was just pausing it. I realized I was about to run out of battery and it's still rolling. This thing.
Here. I'm waiting for Giacomo's.
He's doing a Halloween thing.
He's doing a Halloween thing?
Yeah, he's going to like a Halloween thing, and he said he wanted to try and stop by before.
He sent me a.
Or after before.
He sent me a thing this morning at 10:45. Said, "Hey Dad, sorry I missed you. I was at a place where murderers chase you with weapons and stuff."
I was at 10 this morning?
10:45. He said, "You want to meet up today?" At 10:57, I hit him and said, "Yes, sir. I'm at 80. I'm ready anytime you say." And he says, "Yeah, he just woke up, so gotta wait till like a half or is that 1 or 2? Well, that's probably half." I said, "Whenever you want, Bub, I'll be here whenever you are." He said, "Thanks, Dad. See you soon. Can't wait."
I like to. He said he was going to a Halloween place downstairs. It was really scary. And then I said, Mom would love to see if you want to come over. And
Sure that wasn't last night?
yeah, I'll show you right now. There's that.
Fucker.
See? That's it today at 1.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Maybe he was afraid to tell me or something.
Do you want to go home?
You going back down? I thought you had shit you had to do.
What?
Thought you had shit you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
No?
No, you asked me that earlier too.
Well, 'cause last night you said...
I'm blowing off the, I told Rocky I'd hang out with her and
Oh.
I told, Lizzie I'd see her at some point. I'm not, Rocky has her friends over at the pool.
Oh, that's right. She said...
I mean, that kind of thing, and I'm not, I have to clean out my closet.
Well, let me,
I'm not going to do any of it. I just want to have some dinner and a glass of wine. And if you want to join me...
I want to do that right now. Let's go. Say it. Say the words.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. Forgive me. Or let me earn your forgiveness. I forgive you.
Do you?
I forgive you.
I'm really sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm goes down to those last two words, or three words. Let me get my shit together, okay?